in this scenario, I will always say that when the developers are trying to launch everything at the same time, this is a period or window of opportunities for all our clients. Excuse me. For all our clients, because at the end of the day, when you see that the developers are launching everything together, you have to understand that there's certain price sensitivity that the developers will actually instill. All right. So later on, as we move, we will see actually how price sensitive Emerald of Katong is. Of course, today, I believe some of you might have clients looking at, yeah, my slides are not moving yet. All right. So don't worry. I haven't started talking about my slides, so don't worry about it. Okay, you all can see my slides as they move. Okay, so again, when developers are rushing to launch, like I mentioned earlier on, there is a certain level of price sensitivity in terms of how they want to attract their clients, and then how they want to do their price matrix spread across the board, so that today the buyer's acceptance is there. All right. So if you ask me, these 2 weekends are a window of opportunity rather than thinking about which one I want to go for. Take it as today, these are the 3 or 4 projects launching in the market that is an opportunity for your clients to enter into the market rather than sitting on the fence and waiting for things to happen. Okay? So, without further ado, basically what we want to do first is to understand actually why prices in Singapore is actually well protected. Okay, so I think many of the times when it comes down to asking our clients to buy a property, most of the times they are a little bit more wary in terms of Singapore's prices. At this current juncture, Singapore's prices, is it sustainable or not? So the key word today is sustainable, and what we are trying to do is Singapore prices actually well protected? All right. So if you look at it in this format, of course, this is our cooling measure. So basically, this chart itself talks about how cooling measure coming into our property market has actually dampened or rather controlled our prices. All right. For me, that's exactly how I see it. But of course, for consumers out there, they see that, hey, the prices are continuously climbing upwards. Is it something that is sustainable? All right. So what I want to mention is today, I will always look into this market segment in two time zones. All right. One time zone is actually known as the pre-cooling measure, and then the other time zone is actually the post-cooling measure. Okay. I want you all to understand that anything that happens within pre-cooling measure, let's take a look at what is happening. And then today, I want you to ask yourself, are you in control? All right. So basically, this itself, this is actually number one, our Asia financial crisis. All right. Dropped for 8 quarters at 40% and then started climbing. Next is actually our .com, followed on by our SARS, dropped for 20% over 15 quarters. Next is actually our global financial crisis, which is also the Lehman Brothers crisis, dropped for only 4 quarters, 24.9%. Subsequently, you see the climb. Once it started climbing, all right, our peak of this climb is already higher than our previous high from the Asia financial crisis. All right, but today, let me ask you this question. This, and this, all right? All the peak falls. Are you in control? Yes or no? Are you in control? Can you control all these crises? You all can share your replies in the group chat. Yes, can control. No, cannot control. So Y for can control. No for cannot control. Yes or no? All right. No. So in this kind of scenario, it's a little bit more speculative. You realize that the charts, they are a little bit more speculative, except for this. It's more U-shaped recovery. The reason being why it's so long and a standstill is because .com already is followed on by SARS. All right. So in a pre-cooling measure time frame, your prices, you are not in control. And because you are not in control, it is generally a little bit more speculative. All right. Now, come 2013, all right. Of course, prior to that, we also have smaller measures here and there. But the heaviest set of cooling measures, or the heaviest cooling measure came in only in 2013. All right. So this 2013 cooling measures, what actually happened? They brought down our price, or if you ask me, they corrected our price. All right. So this price correction is important because subsequently you see a continuous climb with minor stagnation, minor price stagnation with no major price dip. All right. Minor stagnation with no major price dip. Okay. So this is something that I want you all to notice. Price corrected already. Price continue to climb with minor stabilization, minor stagnation, All right. Along the way, all right, you'll notice that they also implemented other forms of cooling measure when prices start to get a little bit more out of control, or they feel like it's getting out of control. They will then implement cooling measures to ensure that today prices stay relatively stable and relatively stagnant. And even the growth itself, it is stable year on year. Okay. So in this post-cooling measure, all right, in a controlled environment, all right, since I say it's controlled by who? All right, the government, right? So since it's controlled by the government, can I say that today, in any point or at any one point of time, all right, there is an economical recession or whatsoever, okay, what can our government do to ensure that the property market remains buoyant, remains relatively stable? Anybody want to say anything in the group chat? What would they do? Anyone? What do you think the government will do in the event of a cooling measure? All right, easing, okay? So you're right. Basically, what they'll do, they'll tweak. Okay. So when they tweak or when they do any form of easing, basically what it's going to do is correct the price back upwards again. All right. So the entire idea of how cooling measure acts in our market is actually a form of stabilization, a form of protection. Okay. So once you see this, basically why our prices is more protected nowadays and why, in that sense, in a longer period of times, we are able to then monitor and predict. All right. That's what I would say. We are more in control. We can then control now the pricing we enter and eventually how we exit. But definitely, in the sense that today the government is controlling these prices to ensure that today there is no major setback in terms of the property market in that sense. All right. So understanding this is the key thing to understanding how important our government acts in terms of our real estate market. Okay. Next thing that will actually increase price is actually demand and supply. Unfortunately for Singapore, demand supply comes from people, supply comes from land. All right, people is the one that will want to look into buying houses, residential properties, and whatnot. Supply is given by our government and our limited lack of land. All right, basically in Singapore, there's only so much land that the government can do, which is why today, without other than government land sales, we have another form of land acquisition, which is actually the en bloc market that developers can then tap on. All right, so demand and supply is something that we have to look into. And of course, like I said already, the number one thing that can increase our demand is actually population. Back then in 2012, our population that they want to hit is 6.9 million. All right, basically this amount, 6.9 million, we are not on track. Okay, due to COVID, we are not on track. Currently, I think we are about, so recently the news article, we have increased to about 6.04 from the previous low of as low, I think 5.8 million from COVID period. So this increment over time, basically in year 2024, we are already at 6.04. Can we hit 6.9 by 2030? The answer is no. Basically, I don't think we can hit 6.9 million, but minimally what we can hit is 6.5 million. Okay, do not just use this chart and then take it as layman term, because today you will notice one thing. Hey, Mr. Client say that non-residents is 1.86. The PR never changed. There's an increment of citizens from 3.61 to 3.64. All right, you have to understand. From foreigners, they'll become PR. From PR, they'll become Singaporeans. Singaporeans' birth rate is not going to catch up to our 6.5 million. The only way that we can do this is by importing foreign talents or by importing foreigners into Singapore. All right. And in this case, you might be wondering, how would this affect the population as a whole? All right. One thing to understand about how migration works or how people decide to come to work. You ask yourself this question first. If today you don't know about a certain country, will you think that you will want to go there and work? Do you think that you want to travel there to stay for, let's say, a 3 to 4 years time frame? All right. Most people come into Singapore as tourists. All right. Once they come into Singapore as tourists, they understand Singapore already. Then, all right, it appeals to them. They find a work in Singapore or they get posted to Singapore. They don't mind. They come over. That's how they become expats. From expats, once they are being paid an X amount of money or their income is strong, this group of expats, assuming that they decide to migrate and live in Singapore, that's where they convert into PR and then eventually into your Singapore citizenship. All right. So ultimately, I need to ask you this question. All right. Which category can buy HDB flat? All right. Which category can buy HDB flat? No need to say number one, citizens can buy HDB flats, right? Now let me ask you a question. Can two PRs who just gotten their PR ship buy a HDB flat? Or a single PR, can they buy a HDB flat? Can anybody answer? No. All right. Why no? Why no? Okay, for PRs and PRs, right, you need 3 years of PR citizenship. For single PRs, there's no such thing as buying as a single buyer. So in this scenario, the PRs coming into Singapore in terms of their income, is it high or low? High or low income? All right, usually high. And of course, when I say that, I also do back up with statistics. Okay, so you're right. Gotta wait 3 years. Singles are not eligible for BTO. Generally, the PR buyers, right, are very, very savvy as well. And that is where you start to see PR buyers buying into private property. Of course, Singaporean buyers who can buy HDB flat, BTO flats, of course, this group of buyers may go and take a HDB flat, but there's another group that can afford HDB flat and, of course, private property. And again, this group of people, the younger group of people, you start to see them migrating towards buying a private property first rather than buying a HDB first. So they have migrated that thought process. And the key reason why they do that is because of affordability. All right. I want to bring your attention to this. This is our household income, okay, in 2023. Can you see how skewed this number is or not? What is this number? You notice this over here is towering over the rest of the bar chart. Of course, you have not employed, no employment in the aging population. Naturally, we have this that is not non-employed person. All right, but can you see where is the majority of our income distributed? Can you all see? Which sector has the highest income? Which segment? Which income bracket is the highest? You all can see. So which income bracket is the highest? All right. For those of you who can't see, for those of you who choose not to reply, it's fine. The income bracket that is the highest is actually 20,000 and above. All right. And to be very fair, if you notice this, right, let's look at the monthly household income from 2021 to 2023, how it has changed. So you look at this, right, basically, what they are trying to tell you, for anything that is below, see, they drop. Of course, all this, we start to see from this here onwards. Okay. 5 drop to 4.4. 5.1 drop to 4.4. 4.8 drop to 4.3. 4.7 drop to 4.3. 4.7 drop to 4.3. All this means that this age group, or rather this income bracket, now starts to progress towards the lower or the higher tier income. So now start to notice 3.5 jump to 3.8. This is your 11,000 to 12,000 tier. And then, of course, you have one that dropped, but you also have 2.8 increase to 3, 5.9 increase to 6.4, 4.8 to 6.9. And all this belongs in this bracket of higher income group. And the most sick income jump is from 14.4% to 18.8%. This falls within your 20,000 and over category. Now, the main question that you are asking me, right? Who can afford to buy, right? Let's look at this chart now. Can you tell me who can afford to buy? Can Singaporeans, PRs, afford to buy flats in Singapore now, private property in Singapore? Yes or no? Yes or no? All right. I know you are very bored, but please also reply me. If not, I'll feel very bored too. Okay. So all this information is things that you all need to be sharing with your clients to let them understand that Singapore has been growing. And I always like to joke back then in 2012, 2013, during this time period, 2012, 2013, if I ask you a question, 2012, 2013, if I were to tell, or rather, if you hear your friend's parents say that they make above $10,000, hey, back then above $10,000 is considered what? Considered above average income already. And then at that point of time, the 2008, 2010 period where you tell me that hey, you're making $10,000 a month, I will think that hey, you are in a very, very good position. But right now, all right, a lot of people are making like in the range of 8K, 10K, 8K, 10K. And when the combined income comes in, right, you'll notice that the median household income has increased to then $10,869. All right. So that is something that you all need to understand that today Singapore's affordability has grown. More importantly, this will then affect their purchasing power. Okay. Next, we want to talk about supply. When we look into supply, this time period over here from 2013 to 2017, there was about 100K supply. 15K here, 20K here, 25K here, about 30K here, maybe another 10K here. You all need to understand that throughout this time period, there is a lot of supply in the market. Hey, wait, you all cannot see what I do. Sorry, just give me 1 minute. Okay, can you all see what I drew now? All right. And then looking into the pipeline supply from 2024 all the way to 2027, disregarding this shaded portion over here, basically what this tells you is that all this private residential are without planning approval. So this number that you see right over here may not be accurate. What's the accurate number over here? Basically, this is less than, this is about 4,000. This is about 8,000. This is also about 8,000. All right. Adding together this range of units, right, we are in the range of about 50K units, almost half of what we have from the same this time period from 2013 to 2017. All right. And why is this important? Because ultimately, what happens in a cycle, it's when the supply is high, prices remain generally what? Prices remain relatively stable. This part over here is important because this causes prices to go up. Generally, in time to come, all this range here, this instead of going upwards this way, right? I'm sorry. This one will go in this manner. All right. Sorry. The price will continue to climb in this. The supply, sorry, is dropping. The price will climb in this manner. All right. So this is an elongated what? Lack of supply causing the price to continuously climb. All right. Understand so far? Now, I want to then use this supply and demand and injecting it into my cooling measures relation. All right, what's the correlation now between supply and demand and the cooling measures, right? Is that today, when you understand this, look at this time period over here from 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, and then what happens is that today, this exact time period over here, not only because of cooling measure, but because of the increase of supply, prices drop. The moment the supply start to drop, you start to see our prices do what? What do our prices do? What do our prices do? Increase or decrease? All right, our prices went up. Okay, so in this case, our prices went up. Next, over here, 2017, right, saw our supply dwindling. So there's a stabilization up to here. When the supply start to dwindle all the way up to 2020, can you see this time period all the way up to 2020, generally the price increment is generally quite slow. What happens after that when the supply start to drop? You look at how our prices start to climb during this period over here, 2020, 2021. All right, as supply dwindle in a cooling measure environment, then pop, what goes up? When I inject this into this time period, timestamp, can you all start to see why the importance of cooling measure play a part, and then the supply and demand, there's a correlation to the cooling measures as well. Okay, next. Coming over here, you will see that this 2 quarters, 2023 time period, where there was an increase of supply, our prices remain stagnant, or in this case, drop lah. Huh? So this 2 time period over here, I would say that Q1, Q2, or Q3 of 2023, generally the prices are quite stable. The climb starts to come in again as our supply start to do what? Our supply start to dwindle. Now, if I start to show you this, basically anything from 2024, you look at our supply, you look at our supply. Where do you think the prices will go? Up or down? Mr. Buyer, up or down? All right. So facilitate them by asking this question, Mr. Buyer, where do you think the prices will go? If it's going up, all right, is this a best time to buy into our market right now? You want to be buying into our market right now so that projected, okay, your price will increase because of lack of supply, and because our cooling measure is there to protect us, all right, to ensure that this can substantiate and the prices can climb. Of course, not at a crazy speed, but at least what it can do is to make sure that today incremental is protected. All right. Notice the words that I'm using. It's incremental is protected because it's exactly what is being done. All right. Singapore government doesn't want the price to be speculative. They want the price to be stable. All right. So that is how it is. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. So once you understand this, the correlation between all these cooling measures and supply and demand chart, using this, you're able to then start to go and convince your client, because it's a macro perspective of things, right? Generally, things that people look from a top-down approach. Coming down to the interest rates and its opportunity, it is happening already, guys. Look at this. Our current interest rate is 2.5%. All right. Even our local banks can go up to 2.5% already. So that is something that you all need to understand, that this is happening right now. All right. Price is going to go up because of what is going to happen. Okay. There's always a chain reaction in terms of falling interest rate. Now that interest rate is falling, already fell, basically the number one thing is they will drop the borrowing cost. When you drop the borrowing cost, it increases the affordability. When the affordability is increased, what will happen to the prices? What will happen is that the demand will increase. Now the question is there supply? Is there supply, guys? Is there enough supply? So when demand will increase without any supply, prices will then go up. Same thing. Increase in property demand due to lower borrowing cost. This is affordability. Expected price to rise because increase in demand. There is a chain effect. All right. There is always a chain effect. So what is going to happen is that when we see this, now that the interest rates are already dropping, all right, and it's dropped, right, our prices increase. Now the interest rate is going to continue dropping, our prices will continue to climb. So market trend reaction is doing what? Current interest rate is dropping, interest rate goes down, demand goes up. Affordability increases, demand then goes up. Supply is low, demand goes up. When all this happens, this will continue to push our housing market prices upwards in a more stable manner. All right. So you notice I use 3 things to talk about. Number one, we talk about our supply and demand. Number one, we talk about our cooling measures, how it acts as a layer of protection in terms of our price increment. That's number one. Number two, we talk about population and we talk about demand and supply coming in from the population and the lack of supply in terms of our ready projects or the projects in the market. So in that scenario where it happens, right? Number 3, we talk about the interest rates, which is then now another layer of leading factors that will cause our prices to increase. So we have a 3-pronged approach on why our prices will remain resilient. Number one, why our prices will increase steadily? Because today, the main thing we covered is that there is a lack of supply. Number one, our government is protecting the property prices using cooling measures. There will be an incremental in terms of our population because Singapore requires the population to remain productive. And now with the interest rate falling, this then stands in how our buyers increase their affordability, causing prices to increase as well. So this chain effect, once you understand, Mr. Buyer, do you want to buy now or do you want to wait? When people start to take action ready and sellers start to realize that they can call for a higher price, then you start to go in. Similarly for developers, when they realize that, hey, today, hey, I realize that I can call for a higher price because maybe lack of supply lah. And then I call for a higher price or I increase my price a little bit more. Then you come and buy. 6 new launch doesn't mean that supply go up. In the last 6 months prior to these 6 new launches, all right, there wasn't much launches to begin with. You don't look at it per quarter, you look at it as the whole in the entire year. All right. The reason why these 6 launches launched in one period of time is because all of them bought 1 year ago. All right, which means that 1 year ago, then government released land, then developers start to buy land. That means prior to that, there wasn't any land release or any developer sale. It means that developers are not buying land, they are not topping up their supply. It's not that this is something that is continuously done, like all developers have been buying land and now they all launch all 6 together. No. All right. So when we look at the entire year, the number of launches is also limited. So just because they launch 6 projects at one time, it doesn't mean that the supply go up. The supply goes up for this current quarter, but the entire year supply didn't do much damage to it. So basically, we are still lack of supply. All right, Tiffany, understand this logic, right? Don't look at it from one quarter. Look at it from an entire year's perspective. Okay. So now coming then to District 15, or rather EOK for this matter. When we understand the macro perspective, let's look at how buying into District 15 or how buying into something that is prime, all right, can protect our money. So if I buy into this, again, all of you seated over here, 28 District, can you all tell me which one is your dream district? If today money is not a problem, where would you want to buy? Which district do you want to stay in? You all can type in the group chat. All right. 22 Wow. 22 is Jurong. You aspire to stay in Jurong? Maybe lah. Okay lah. Maybe West. All right. So again, right, I think if I talk about dream district, everybody has a dream district. Majority of the time, there's only this categorization of dream district. Your District 9, District 10, 11, District 4, which is Sentosa, and then lastly, District 15. All right, we have one District 22. All right, I mean, at the end of the day, that's your aspiration. That's where you want to be. But the bulk of the Singaporeans will always understand that these are the districts that they have aspirations to move into. All right. So when we look at these 5 districts, right, we look at their performance. And I use resale. I didn't use new launch. So resale for District 9, profitability only about 4.45% over the course of 10 years. Same thing for District 10, 18%. District 11, 19%. 15 at 40%. And then Sentosa, the champion here, being at negative 38%. Okay? So when this is happening, what does it show you? That District 15 has been rather profiting. And in this case, there is a lot of interest in District 15, and yet District 15 property can maintain its price tag, can maintain its current growth. And basically, this means that today there's appeal into District 15 as well. All right. So when you look into this, I also want to show you there are properties out there in the market that performs very well starting from COVID. And these are some of the examples. What I mean by COVID performance is that there's a stagnation over the period from 2012 to 2013, but there's a climb coming in from 2020 to 2024. So this itself, right, is that today, prior to COVID, there's this price drop caused by cooling measures, and the price continuing to climb after only COVID, which is the lack of supply period causing the price to skyrocket or price to continue moving upwards at a faster speed. All right, these are my properties. We have Quartz, Bedok Residences, Casa Merah. I think this is Queens. Okay, so these are some examples that you all can use that personally I deem as a COVID performer, and because generally there isn't any much price movement prior to the COVID situation. Okay, however, in District 15, I want you to notice something. Today, right, we use the ESTA, all right, right beside Emerald of Katong. All right, you notice one thing during the 2012-2013 period, they they stagnant for a while. Their next price climb is starting from 2016-2017, climbing up to here. Their next price climb is COVID price climb. So what I'm trying to tell you is you will notice there is a staircase-like climb for this kind of properties. So it shows you the jump from one to another. And then my question to you is it safer to buy into properties like that? Yes or no? Is it safer to buy into properties like that? Yes or no? All right. And in that scenario, why is there this staircase like climb? Because there is demand into District 15. Because today District 15 is a district that people wants to buy into and move into. All right. So this is the ESTA. You will notice the same thing for One Amber. Same thing where 2012, 2013, slight drop, but climb in 2016, 2017. So you have one high price point, climb price point, one more here, and one more here. All right, can you see? All right, they all showcase the same character traits throughout the entire District 15. All right, this is actually head court, so much older. 2013, 2014, stagnation, 2017, climb. Maybe not as much, but still a climb. One more climb here. All right, basically climbing over here. So all you need to know is that today the properties in the surrounding area is very, very strong in terms of their price protection. Now, coming into the demand and supply of local demand versus natural demand, why 15 is something that you need to understand, because now we talk about demographics. We already understand that today the price is stable, price can climb in the resale market, and more importantly, people are looking at the resale market in District 15. However, in this chart, what I'm going to show you is new launches, all right, that is away from District 15. You'll notice that today is very, very localized into one category. This is the Northeast cluster and North cluster of Singapore. Okay, so this is where they buy Lentor Mansion. Same thing you will see. Lentor Modern skewed towards the North, East, and the North cluster. Lentoria as well, Lentor Hill as well, Hillock Green as well. Lake Garden, in this case, I show you Lake Garden, is only one district centric and District 5. So like you said, all 22, right? Because Lake Garden is in the west, then basically you have buyers only being in the localized market. Understand? So the bulk of these buyers falls within these areas only. Then come Jayden. Jayden being an investment property, you notice 2020, 22, 23, 5, 19 buyers are everywhere, but don't worry, the bulk of it still forms from the western part of Singapore. Okay? Now, let's look at Grand Diamond. You look at the volume and you look at how it's well spread throughout the entire buyer profile from District 1 to District 26. All right, this means that today the demand for District 15 is an outward in demand. That means today people want to buy into District 15. They may not be staying in District 15, all right? But they want to move into District 15, which is why just now earlier on when I asked you, what is your dream district? Where do people want to buy? All right, these are the places that will have this kind of profile. All right, you'll start to see this kind of profile buying into Grand Diamond. Similarly, for Tembusu Grand, you will see a chunk of them here and here, 14, 15, 16, 18, 19, spread across here as well. And then you have some in the west. All right. This is during launch day, but again, if you are seeing Tembusu Grand's current demographics, right? If I don't have it, but if I have it, I'm sure it will look like that. Okay. Next, what we want to talk about is actually what is the right price. So knowing all this itself already, right? Currently, what are you telling your buyers in the market? Let's look at gap. I don't want to just look at price. I want to look at gap. Remember, today what I talked about is basically what is the gap opportunity if I were to buy into Emerald of Katong. So assuming my 2-bedroom price gap, you all know my price guide, right? This is my price guide. So if you all know the price guide already, looking at this, I show you based on resale property code Diazu. All right, resale code Diazu, 2-bedroom, you can see all is in the 1.9 to 2 mil kind of range already. We have Silver Sea. Okay, of course, this is a slightly larger unit type, but again, all hitting 2 over million, 1.9 million. All right. My Shore Residence also 1.8 to 1.7 mil. But do you all know Shore Residence is 103 years? After that, give back to who? Anybody know? After that, who did they give back to? For Shore. All right. They give back to Far East, guys. So to pay this amount and still give it back to Far East, is it worth the money? However, people is already transacting that for now, and it gives us that protection. And how much are we in terms of prices? Which means my average price will still be 1.7 mil thereabouts. But it's fine. My price support for my resale is already there and it's very, very strong. So next thing is my price support from my current new launches. You like my current new launches, this is my price, right? This is my price, right? I'm already about 300,000 gap. This one, don't even need to say, I'm about almost 400,000 gap. Grand Dunman, I'm also about 300,000, about 300 plus K. Wow, this one even higher, 2.1 mil, 2.162, 2.04 mil. My gap to all this is significant. All of them are without aircon latch. With aircon latch. Let's look at them without aircon latch. We done this basically to remove the aircon latch from it, and then we calculated the PSF based on without aircon latch. All right, look at this 29973147. Okay, Celine, yes, I'll be adding this into our Tic Tac sales kit. I'll ask Jason to add this into our slides. Okay, so look at our 2+ study. You'll notice this as well. So today, are we one of the lowest entry PSF? Okay, this is our gap right now in the market, not only in terms of quantum, in terms of PSF as well. All right, because at the end of the day, this is starting from this 2 point is about 2.5 average to 2.6K average PSF. Okay. However, to really seal a 2-bedroom, for example, we showcase this. This is a huge 2-bedroom, right? 1109 square feet 2-bedroom. First of all, let me highlight this. Planter box, they count, you cannot use. Big foyer, cannot use. All right. Of course, the good thing is they have a yard, kitchen, and utility. All right. That's good for you. Got a separate dining and living. They got a huge ass balcony. Cannot use. All right. Can you all see this? These are all bay window. Bay window. Okay. So again, AC latch. Can you all see in a 1109 square feet, right? What is then the actual usable size if that's the way they calculate, right? So the usable size probably dropped to below 1,000 already. All right. The aircon latch itself probably will take about 70 square feet. Planter box itself another 50 square feet. All right. Bay window will take another 60, 70 square feet. Your huge ass balcony like that. Okay lah. At least you can say that your balcony can use that. Then your long way how? All right. So again, for 2-bedroom, can this configuration do a 3-bedroom? Yes or no? More importantly, can this configuration do a 3-bedroom? Yes or no? Can Can do 3-bedroom this configuration. Then your 3-bedroom become like that Right? That's how you probably gotta cut it That's the only way I can see to cut it All right. Possible to do another one in living room. That means I do one here. Okay. Then my living dining become like that. Okay. So there is possibility, but very small possibility. But at the end of the day, would they want to do it? No. This is still marketed as a 2-bedroom. All right. So then coming to that, that's why at the end of the day, our price gap is strong with a lot of wasted space in a lot of the resale property. This one very regular. All right. At the end of the day, right, this 2-bedroom cannot configure to a 3-bedroom. No way can you configure this to a 3-bedroom. I don't know what's the size, forgot. But this is the Shore. Okay. Look, once you come in, very good, got home shelter, but open concept kitchen. Then bathroom 1, bathroom 2. My question is, at the end of the day, for something of this size, right, can you config to a 3-bedroom? Can config to a 3-bedroom now? Cannot, right? This is still a 2-bedroom, selling from 1.8 mil. Already in the resale market. All right. When you go and study why there's a gap, you also want to study the layout. Can we configure it to a 3-bedroom? We can't. So a 2-bedroom versus a 2-bedroom in our development, even though we are half its size or 3/4 its size, but in terms of efficiency, we are efficient. All right. In terms of 2-bedroom or 2-bedroom unit type, we are still a 2-bedroom unit type. All right. 3-bedroom price gap. For those of you who don't know, our 3-bedroom starts from 2.1. These are my more premium one. They start from 2.3. Let's go back to currently. This is the shop. Already at 2.7 mil, guys. Already at 2.7 mil. Okay. Now, this is Côte d'Azur. This one even scarier. This one, of course, I have some, but this is about 2.85, 2.7, 2.7 already. Okay. Then we go to see Silver Sea. The champion over here starts from 3 mil one. All for 3-bedroom. Again, sorry. Going then to see new launches in the current market. If we are this range, my current new launch in the market, Tembusu Grand is already 2.6 mil. All right, based off this, basically this is my premium. I can go and buy a premium already. All right, similar fighting, similar price reference. Okay, Continuum start from 2.377. I have units that are 2.1. This is Grand Diamond starting from 2.45. Again, I start from 2.1. And then next is actually the 3 mil property. Look again at how the PSF range, if we were to add in or we were to take out their aircon ledge. Assuming that today, whatever new launches, you go and count the aircon ledge, you void the aircon ledge, you don't count. You divide by the usable square footage. Our PSF is still attractive. Okay? Now, next, for this 3-bedroom, can see not? This one is what? Côte d'Azur. Very nicely done, but again, see planter box, curve, odd shape, balcony with planter box in the master bedroom. Then bay window. Okay. So again, right, this entire layout itself, this is about 1389 square feet. For this kind of prices, this kind of sizes, can I then buy? Yeah, they do. Tembusu Grand 990 still have, man? No more already. I'm based on the current. They still have 990 square feet on? Let me check. No, no more 990 square feet. That was back then, is it? Yeah, basing on what is available right now, 15. Back then one, I won't compare already. Okay? So basically, these are my current available ones, and these are my current comparative. All right, it will look like it's 2236 per square foot, but actually because of the void space, because of the aircon ledge, this is my PSF already. Okay? So coming down to this is actually Shaw's 3-bedroom. Actually, Shaw's 3-bedroom, the layout so only. I mean, of course, you're gonna get an enclosable kitchen, wide frontage, living, dining. But your bedroom sizes for your bedroom 3 is as good as a study space. Then my next question is, can you then configure a 3rd bedroom? Can lah, you're probably gonna tell me configure here lah. Correct, I configure there. Alright, cannot be I configure in this manner, then how my living room becomes so much smaller? So again, all this layout is for its purpose of 3-bedroom. You cannot reconfigure it. But today, what it means that look at our EOK layout. Is it fantastic? Is it strong? Is it a very, very efficient layout? These are things that you need to be asking yourself, and then using that, go and share with your ICBs, go and share with your buyers. All right. Lastly, the 4 and 5-bedroom gap. I'm going to use somewhere also in District 15, but further away one. Got no MRT one. I'm going to use Coastal Rule. I'm going to use Pebble Bay. All right. At the end of the day, look at how their prices are about 4 over million, 5 over million dollars. All right. 4 over 5 over million. Unfortunately, I don't have their layout and their layout itself. So, but again, what I'm going to do is comparing it with the current launches in the market. Emerald Katong starting price is this. All right, not in this exact number, we are just guessing. Again, the developer haven't gave us the 271. All right, but we are just basing on estimation 2765, for example. But Tembusu Grand is already doing at this, Continuum at this, Grand Diamond at this, 4.584 for Mayor Blue. What is our gap? All right, 600,000 of gap. This itself even more sick. Tembusu Grand is already 500,000. Continuum almost 1.5 million. Grand Diamond also another 500,000. This one also very far off. Okay. At the end of the day, at 1475 square feet or 15 plus square feet for a 5-bedroom, right? Basically, we are still very luxurious in terms of size. Okay. So the thing about it is that once you understand this, all right, I want you all to go and share this with your client and look at how the layout is. Can you answer me now? This is a 4-bedroom layout. Do you find that this is a nice layout for 4-bedroom? This is where? Amber Park. One Amber, sorry. This is One Amber. Was it One Amber or DS Star? Sorry, either DS Star or I think this is DS Star, sorry. Is this layout nice now? Yes or no? Anybody can share this with me? Is this layout nice? Or as usual, you all don't want to reply me? Not bad. Okay. It's not very good. So again, bay window, good separation, but long walkway, separated dining space, separated living space. This is again in a very weird format. I feel like this is a personal thing. So I feel it's weird format, but bay window, aircon latch, bay window, bay window, bay window, bay window, bay window. All right. Correct. So again, this is preference, but for me, I feel like it's a little bit more rectangleish. In terms of selling in the resale market, maybe it's not as likable. All right, as compared to our 4-bedroom and our 5-bedroom, for example. Okay, like I said, subjective, but again, in the masses, in the eyes of the masses, when you're selling houses, what will your masses like? Will this be something your masses like? All right, always understand. Is this something that they want? Okay. This is DS Star, I think. Yes, DS Star. I like this layout though. Okay. I like this layout. However, big aircon latch. Bedroom 4 smaller. But in general, this is our quite similar to our 4 or 5-bedroom size. If you are buying this, you can buy our 5-bedroom, our 5-bedroom sizes. You can also have something like that. All right. So again, these are the kind of layouts that I feel is nice. If the room sizes are larger at the back, okay, good. But our room sizes are all 9 square meters, so that's fine. Basically, what I want to share with you is today, whatever information that we are going to do or whatever information that we share with you, I need your help. I need your help to go and invite all your clients who have placed their checks, all your clients who are pending to place their checks, right, for this coming 11th of November at 7:30 p.m. All right, this is a consumer seminar done by myself in the show flat for consumers of EOK. Importantly, let me convince your client why is there an unfair price gap in District 15. I will start to also compare 5-bedroom prices with landed prices, 5-bedroom prices with the rest of the amber area larger floor plate unit types. So with all this in mind, all right, they will understand why EOK